Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the New American Dream Radio Show. We're streaming live on Revolution Radio and also on the New American Dream Radio Show YouTube channel. Uh, we have a new American dream, not of the new homes and toasters and microwaves, but of becoming the type of country we always thought we were. A country where people help each other. People work with each other to do things that they couldn't do by themselves. People talk to each other. People listen to each other. People love each other. That's our new American dream. All right. Well, we have an excellent show coming up tonight, and I'm going to jump right into our first guest, Anthony Rayson. Anthony joins us from the Chicago area, and he's a very interesting guest. I'm going to get him on the phone momentarily. Let's see, here we go. Anthony is a prison activist and, as I say, a very interesting guy. So, okay, here we go. We're calling Anthony right about now.
Evening.
Hello, Anthony. Welcome to the New American Dream Radio Show. You are on the air.
Well, thanks. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Well, tonight I thought I'd take a retrospective of the baby boom generation.
Okay.
That's defined, I think, by people born between 1946 and 1961. So today they would be between 65 and 80, which would include as president.
Hey, Google, off.
George, excuse me.
Sorry, my Google thing was going a little bit crazy. I don't know why it decided I asked it for something I didn't ask. All these smart devices kind of taking over the world.
Yeah. Well, anyway, as for presidents, there's Bill Clinton, George Bush Jr., Barack Obama, Joseph Biden, and now Donald Trump again are all part of the baby boom generation.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, none of them served in Vietnam, but they were all warmongers once they got in to be president. Anyway, so I wrote this piece. It's called Baby Boom Betrayal. So I'd like to read it to you.
Okay.
Okay, the baby boom generation is defined as those people born between 1946 and 1961. Like Van Morrison said, the troops who survived World War II came home with love looks in their eyes. Boy, he wasn't kidding, because the women they married became veritable baby-making machines. I was smack dab in the middle of a 7-sibling family myself. My sister Anne was born in 1946, and the last of my brothers, Jim, was born in 1961. I was born on my sister's 7th birthday, September 17, 1953. She had the dubious distinction of having 6 younger brothers and no sisters.
Oh.
So I had a catbird seat. For this whole baby boomer phenomenon. I got to see what was going on with my older brothers and sister, as well as how things played out with my younger brothers and all their friends. Mostly, I lived with my own peer group in the heart of this generation, generally hanging out with people no more than 2 years older or younger than myself. One of the first things I remember was a silly 70-yard 78 RPM record my parents played constantly about Jack Kennedy running for president in 1961. It went something like this. Oops, there goes another Kennedy. Oops, there goes another something. So vote for Kennedy. Vote for Kennedy. I remember my sister. I remember my sister listening to a 78 that sang, Johnny has an apple on a stick, an apple on a stick. My oldest brother is named John.
Hmm.
TV was a new phenomenon. There were only 3 or 4 black and white channels, sometimes only 2 or 1. When the programming ended, an Indian had appeared with a miserable, endless note. It seemed often that a test would be conducted by the emergency broadcast system. This, of course, was a faint reminder that we were under the insane, albeit constant, threat of possible nuclear genocide engulfing whole continents and hemispheres. This could be triggered by hubris and bombast of some American politician, the megalomania of some general, or simply by some mistake. Nuclear weapons were being constructed at a dizzying pace, and several were lost. And it just keeps getting worse. But what did we know? We got up early, watched the Indian for a while, and waited for the cartoons to come on. Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse, Woody Woodpecker, and so forth. We may have had to wait for 5 minutes to live by a dreary Christian message set to dull music. It seemed like every family had at least 4 kids, even if they had to adopt a Korean kid or two, seeing as they were orphans because the U.S. military murdered so many of their parents. I grew up in Tinley Park, the long-time sleepy white south suburb of Chicago. It was founded by the Tinley brothers, railroad men from the 1850s or something. There was no big expressway to the city yet, I-57. It was surrounded by cornfields. It was an entity unto itself. No Walmart yet or any of that crap. It wasn't all just cars. We walked and rode our bikes a lot. We had good-sized yards in our neighborhood and could play football, baseball, softball, wiffle ball, tennis, hide and go seek, cowboys and Indians, or army or war. We looked all around for all kinds of creatures and kept many pets. We wanted to play league hardball. We went to the church grounds a couple houses over. We'd swing on trees and build forts and fool around all kinds of ways, usually outdoors. Big snowball fights, tomato fights, etc. We liked to throw stuff at each other. We played board games too, like Monopoly or cards. Some of the Monopoly games lasted for days and were played in the front yards of houses. We played pinochle forever and create whole leagues of international baseball teams and have them play seasons with cards and dice. We'd keep stats just like in the sports section. But we also sat in front of the boob tube as much as we could get away with. We watched the Honeymooners and Sky King, hoping to be too slow to have to go to church. The girls liked to play house at school, and we would pretend to be moms or teachers, and we'd go along with it. At least I did. We'd do this in their parents' basements. I actually got on well with girls until puberty hit and I freaked out. We'd go over to the neighbor's house to watch garbage like Bonanza and The Man's Den. I hated the show, but it was in color, so we watched it. I remember the first time I saw color TV. It felt like those Japanese parents who recently got zapped by Pokemon. It was Rocky and his friends, Rocky and Bullwinkle. We all sat reverently around the set at our minister's house next door to the Methodist church. They had 3 sons, 3 of our ages, and we liked to ditch church and have fun together. Another early uncolored TV show was a Japanese action cartoon we watched at a close neighbor's house with 2 of the adopted Korean kids. They also had one of their own. We played with squirt guns, water balloons, BB guns, toy guns with caps, and Jinsei projectiles. We got a lot of cheap stuff made in Japan. In those days, made in Japan meant shoddy stuff. Of course, they were still recovering after we unleashed nuclear war on them, slaughtered tons of them otherwise, and were helped as genocidal accomplices by the insane government of Japan, who also made sure many people were butchered throughout Asia and sacrificed many of their own people doing it. Economic imperialism is the tsunami of blood. Capitalist competition called freedom. Cosmic crime gone unpunished. Anyway, I remember the little TV in the classroom when the astronauts like Gus Grissom Glenn and Ellen Shepard shot into the stratosphere, trying to recoup the propaganda the Russians got for being first.
Hmm.
After Sputnik, it came to us as a flying saucer-shaped candy with tiny beads inside. I thought it was cool the way they put a monkey in space and then a woman. Kids would have transistor radios glued to their ears listening to the World Series, which was still played in the afternoon until corporate dollars totally took over. Penny candy was a huge deal to us and was what we spent our allowance on.
Hmm.
There was a place near our grade school called Rudy's. It was run by two twins. One was real nice, and the other guy was always crabby,
Hmm.
impatiently trying to hurry us up with our petty selections. McDonald's was just starting out as a restaurant far away in the western suburbs.
Hmm.
We had Dairy Palace, and they had 15-cent hamburgers too.
Hmm.
I remember Kennedy always smiling and Jackie with all their trendy outfits and how everyone was so worried about something. Jack and Bobby were toying with the idea of unleashing worldwide nuclear war after getting spanked at the Bay of Pigs. And there were mainstreamy rock songs by Leslie Gore and the like. My brother got excited when new Beach Boys songs came out, but I thought it was kind of silly what they were saying about cars and surfing and girls. But things didn't really start to happen until Kennedy got his brains blown into his wife's lap
Hmm.
down in Dallas on November 22nd, 1963. That was like a hit of social window pane. Everyone
Hmm.
was beside themselves with grief, and the picture of John saluting his dead dad's casket was eloquently etched in our minds. They had a crisp flag-draped casket ceremony. His patriotism has always been preeminently hammered into Americans at every turn.
Hmm.
John would grow into a tabloid hunk and managed to prematurely end his own life, too, along with his wife and sister-in-law. He thought he could fly blind one night.
Hmm.
We had the big-eared redneck for president now. What would happen next? Luckily, the Beatles exploded and set us all on a lifelong thrill ride. They pushed all the crappy white U.S. bands aside and took off like a cultural bottle rocket. Every week, it seemed a new awesome Beatles single would shoot straight to the top of the chart. The girls went berserk and the guys wanted in, so they bought Beatle wigs and tried to mimic their hipness with limited success. As they developed and ditched their suits and grew more hair, good U.S. bands burst on the scene. Grateful Dead, Jefferson Airplane, Frank Zappa, and the Mothers of Invention, etc. Put out music for the counterculture. People hit the streets too. Lots of papers were hawked, and it seemed like we were on the verge of something important all the time. Revolutions were occurring around the world like a string of firecrackers. The black music where all non-native culture sprang from was still well hidden, just like the black people themselves.
Hmm.
You'd hear some R&B out of Detroit or maybe Nat King Cole or Satchmo or something, but the boomers followed the white bands. Some were integrated, though, like the excellent Butterfield Blues Band from good old Chicago. England pumped out a lot of good Stones, Animals, Cream, etc. So we had a plethora of new and occasionally innovative bands to serve as the soundtrack of our lives coming up. But the rebelliousness of the music didn't translate into actual action. Later, guys like Bob Marley and The Clash put meat on the lyrics and sang about politics in a real way. Dylan wrote songs with strong stuff, but he mumbled so you couldn't figure out what he was saying. The blacks rebelled, and I mean rebelled. Whole cities were war zones for several days. Watts 65, Detroit 67, Newark, Chicago, all over. There would be speculation whether or not it would be a hot summer. Of course, most all the death was caused by racist cops killing young black men, just like they do today,
Hmm.
inside and outside of the Vascular Empire. Mayor Daley gave the go-ahead to his pigs. Shoot to maim looters, shoot to kill rioters. How do you define the rioter?
Hmm.
You do it the same way you define a terrorist or an anarchist. Anything bad you can think of, that's it. Only
Hmm.
for a brief time in the late 60s did people actually start to realize the government was lying to them and that they were their mortal enemy.
Hmm.
In the mid-late 70s, over half the welcome home. Many
Hmm.
others were homeless or shell-shocked, and some died. Yet later the spin was the anti-war people who staffed military-based coffee shops, etc., were the were the bad guys and did the vets wrong. Only briefly did people open their eyes and frag their officers. There were actual unions who sometimes went on meaningful strikes, always sold out by their leaders. Boycotts sometimes were effective, and reporters got to occasionally actually report on events or at least provide a glimpse. We'd see stacks of Viet Cong bodies, another horrible carnage caused by the U.S. Nowadays, reporters are embedded like bedbugs and are intellectually and visually muzzled. It's all about the government's line posing as the truth. There was a sort of underground radio on FM stations sometimes. Now this is called pirate radio and gone after like mink liberators is somehow subversive. The truth is our biggest terrorist. And of course, there was the inescapable Vietnam War. Everyone knew of guys from the neighborhood who went. Either they got drafted or they enlisted. Sometimes they came home dead, wounded, or ruined, insane. They brought drugs home too, heroin, but mostly, especially dynamite pot. I still think the government is so determined to keep pot criminalized, not just because it fuels their prison profiteering, but because of how potheads turn on and turned off to their hideous war. For not believing government propaganda is unforgivable, and pot disconnected people from it. Parents didn't know anything about the explosion of drugs as high school kids came across mescaline, hash mushrooms, hash gel, all kinds of shit. Plus all the pharmaceuticals and the crap you could steal from the shelves of drugstores. Jesus, what a mind blow. If our parents busted us smoking pot with a bunch of our friends in the bedroom, we'd tell them it was Turkish tobacco and find it later in the dresser, switch it with oregano, and leave in the seat. The cops were Barney Fife types, or macho dudes who didn't have computers and weren't too hip mentally, and it took quite a while for them to attract nerds who could use them and train cops to use them and apply them in the sophisticated dragnet fashion we use them for nowadays. Often there were so many of us, the cops were overwhelmed. They didn't get the backup you see today with 3, 4, 5 squads out there to give some poor schmo a speeding ticket. Also, a lot of the pro-government gung-ho cop-loving types were overseas murdering people in Vietnam and elsewhere. So we got away with a lot of juvenile delinquency stuff. When we broke windows at the school, we may have gotten in trouble, but we didn't end up in prison. When we got caught drinking and driving, yeah, we spent the night in the drunk tank and had a court date, but that was usually it. Often if a pig found our weed or whatever, he would just take it for himself and say something snotty to us and shoo us away. There were even such a thing as a warning ticket that wasn't just given to a few pretty girls. When people started waking up, whether it was tuning in, turning on, and dropping out, or realizing this was a violently racist and sexist capitalist country, or were mortified by the endless bloodshed of Vietnam, it was still a minority of people who actually did any real organizing or demonstrating. Like today, most people are scared and stayed at home, ignorant and gutless, or busy or whatever. Most folks said they believed the government's lies because they read the papers and saw the news. It's what they learned in school. That's what the U.S. is the greatest and freest country in the world, and God is partial to us because we're so wonderful. Truth analysis never got a chance to sink into their brains, and they stayed with their conditioning like a luge going down the chute. Enjoy your stooge-like wage slave life, you do-not mass-consuming dumbasses. They grew into authorities who took the worst from the previous generation and amped it up to absurdity. Excuse me. The school officials, like today, were always pro-government, would threaten students with suspensions or expulsions for ditching class for demos, etc. The papers always pushed the lies of government, and workers, white workers anyway, with rednecks and hard hats, would assault peace demonstrators under the approving eye of the cops. So this whole counterculture was only actively pursued by a few kids who actually gave a damn, and most all of them ditched their hippie beads and headbands for a suit and tie to whore for some company when they got the chance. They may have kept a cool poster on the wall or had beads for a door or something, though. But it was the only real culture around, and the bands were an important part of it. Pro-government culture was lame, like John Wayne and Green Beret or Up With People nonsense, and so forth. So a lot of other kids put on the trappings of being radical to glom on to what was in. Most of these people just wore clothes that Madison Avenue made to look like hippie clothes to sponge off and make profits from. They dabbled in drugs because everyone had them in college, and since these are white people I'm talking about, there was only a minimum threat from the authorities. But they were still politically brain dead, hated niggers, and hoped to make money and join the sheeple someday. They
Hmm.
didn't give a damn about other people in other countries or people outside their little circle in this country. Most all the college radicals straightened up and flew right. Some died or were imprisoned, and very few kept up their activist beliefs. Some are now decent professors, and some do work in community organizations, grassroots groups. I condemn myself too, because although I never sold out politically, I did lose touch with those in resistance, and we just sort of private battle while conforming into adulthood, wife, job, divorce, just trying to live in a demented environment, and still not just trying to make sense of it, but functioning in an acceptable manner, all the while dealing with others damage themselves from it all.
Hmm.
I was out of touch because by the time I was 21 and ready to go nuts, 1974, the air had been let out of the balloon, and insanely, all people seemed to give a damn about was that horrible disco music. It sent me into a deep depression and a heavy self-reliant shell. I became atomized, Lone Wolf McQuaid, just like those monsters running this societal charade want people like me to feel and be like. For black folks who thought it was a difference that mattered, the cops actually sent their assassination squads after some of them, and many were sucked into the black hole of prison. Their communities remained destitute and targeted, and daily strife was, is, and always has been excruciating compared to suburban white folks' lives. There are two separate sets of realities. For example, when the National Guard killed those white kids up in Kent State, everyone was aghast. When pigs sprayed the dorm with gunfire down in Jackson State, killing two black students, it was hardly noticed. The
Hmm.
Voting Rights Act was a big nothing. Back to me, I always hated school. I was sickened by the stupid racists and girl beaters and nasty bastards who picked on Jews, homosexuals, or anybody for anything. The teachers were horrible, too. It was so stifling and boring all the time. I remember in 8th grade, it was 1966. I'd been in the Martin Luther King Jr. March through Cicero during the summer. There I picked up a racist comic book called White Man. Our English teacher, who was also the French teacher, told us to write an article about somebody famous. I did mine on Martin Luther King. She flunked
Hmm.
me because he was a communist nigger. Such a lovely educator. Another time I did a
Wow.
long paper on Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Ha.
I got a C because the teacher said I stole it from my brother, who she claimed the same thing 2 years ago. His was on
Hmm.
Huckleberry Finn, but she didn't understand the difference. I guess it sounds petty of me, but that was the set. Keep things on a simple plane, and more than anything, do what you're told without being a bother. Intelligence is a nuisance we don't want. In 7th grade, we had this volatile science teacher named Mr. Martinez. One day, a softball came crashing through the class, through a second floor window.
Hmm.
Jerry Schmidt had really connected on that homer. The next day, I saw Martinez assault Jerry on the foul part of the field. His crime, he was eating okie doke cheese popcorn. Another time, he threw a kid from the top of the bleachers to the wooden floor on the gym floor
Oh.
during intramurals, about 7 rows. This kid's crime was eating Junior Mints. Martinez's punishment for being an abusive bastard, a child-beating sadist, was to be made principal. Almost to a man or woman, these teachers and coaches were ignorant little tyrants who had nothing but thinly veiled contempt for kids, especially if they knew you knew more than they did and thought you weren't being
Hmm.
subservient enough. It was also damn miserable. Yeah, there were a few decent ones. There were these little groups, the socialites, smart and dumb, the jocks, the greasers, and the hippies' heads. The queers were among the heads, which is who I aligned myself with, although I was strict for the college prep crap, so I had to mainly sit in class with the ass kissers. God, how I hated it all. I'd read books during class. So when things started happening, I was in the middle of it, trying to help organize walkouts, challenging stupid rules, and so forth. Mostly I was left out to dry as people chickened out. I got in trouble and was considered weird or doped up or crazy, whatever.
Hmm.
I survived high school, but barely. I went on to college where I stayed a miserable semester and a half. Then I took off hitchhiking for the next 2 years. Most people
Yeah.
who went to college slowly conformed and fell into some kind of career mold, pretty much abandoning real alternatives to this insane society. Kids who didn't go to school stayed around town, got wage slave jobs, and sort of subsisted physically and spiritually.
Hmm.
They'd have grubby kids. A lot of people became alcoholics and so forth. Some went to prison or died, but few made real commitment to either a countercultural lifestyle or challenging any system. Maybe they didn't go to church as much as the moms. They usually came around after a while. I believe such nonsense. For a while, there was a feeling of a generation when we were in our teens, mostly, and 20s to a lesser degree. We'd go to festivals where there were 200,000 people listening to bands for a couple of days. Those seemed important in a way. There were always problems with cops, busts, and beatings of certain people, and there was a sort of camaraderie. Go out to a stupid disco or other bar and get wasted. Others became more and more conservative as their parents were and were molded into a miserable moral majority of
Yeah.
right-wing evangelical Christian flocks of today who are driving this born-again crusade against blacks and women and others who don't conform to white society.
Anthony,
In this respect, our unique
we're gonna
generation
have to
has
cut there.
digressed from what our
Uh,
parents
this,
orchestrated what we did.
Anthony, this is
We're
really
even more
interesting.
controlling and driven by slavish beliefs and lies.
Anthony, we have to
Am I
stop
running out of
there.
time?
You are out of time. Sorry. That was
Okay.
really fascinating, and I hope you will read the rest of it on the next show or something. Uh,
Yeah, there's
thank you
only
so
like two
much.
more pages.
Okay,
Sorry, I
well,
got a
thanks so
frog in
much
my
for
throat here.
sharing it. It was, I mean, I tell you, I was right back there
I'm sure you remember. You're my age.
remembering. Yeah, it was amazing.
With me, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I'll
All
talk to you
right.
next
Talk to you
month.
later.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye bye, Anthony. Rex. Hello. He's been patiently waiting. Hopefully, you were somewhat entertained by that as well. That was very interesting reminiscences.
No, I'm not getting any audio here.
You're not.
No, I saw you. I could hear you, but I couldn't hear what the other person was saying at all.
Oh, really? Well, I'm sorry about that. It should have been going out to you. I don't know why that didn't work. If it didn't go to you, that probably means it didn't go out to YouTube either. I hope it was going to Revolution Radio. We'll find out. I've been having some technical issues. I thought I had them solved. Huh. Anyway, well, let's give this a try. How's everything, Rex?
Good. How's Fort Lauderdale?
Good, good. Uh, been such busy time with all the Easter stuff, and I've
Oh, yeah.
also been getting to go to a few concerts. I got free tickets because the working as an usher, and so that's been fun. I got to see. Let's see, but well, Lorraine and I went and saw the Four Tops and the Temptations.
Get out of here. Are there any original members?
Um, I think there was one original member between, but the bands have
Yeah.
been continuing without a break, and
Wow.
some of the people in it now are relatives of the original members, or it's
Wow.
just, and they just have kept it going and going, and it's still a great show. Really, really something.
Good.
That was fun. Uh,
Cool.
I got to see the Alan Parsons Project.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, and let's see. A couple nights ago, I saw Kenny Wayne Shepherd, who's a
Really?
oh, you know him? Yeah,
Oh, sure. Does he
yeah,
still raving on guitar?
yeah. You bet. Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, it's pretty cool perks. You know, meanwhile,
Yeah, yeah.
I ushered for an opera, Turandot, uh,
Really?
and a couple of Broadway shows. Kimberly Akimbo was the most recent one, and
Huh.
Hell's Kitchen was the one before that. Hell's Kitchen is it's like a biography of Alicia Keys,
Really?
so with a lot of good music. So I've
Wow.
meanwhile I've been hosting the open mics, and those have been going well, and
Yeah.
I'm just crazy busy these days.
Good. Are you going to put me up on the screen?
You're on the screen. You're on my screen.
Okay.
I don't. Usually it shows whoever's talking.
Yeah, I'm not up on YouTube. Oh, there I am.
Okay, see, there you go. Okay. Oh, you took a look at the YouTube? That's good. Just don't turn the
Yeah.
audio on.
No, no, no.
All right. So what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Just getting ready for spring to turn warm. We've been having a little rain, a little wind,
Hmm.
uh, after some big heat waves, but it's all relaxed now. Weather's kind of nice. It's very spring-like.
Hmm. Okay. Well, that,
But with summer standing close and waiting to come in,
hmm.
um, here's a little summertime thing. Uh,
Okay.
this is called Ibrahim and his band.
Huh.
I sit on the smooth tile face of Abbot Kinney. Ibrahim's band slams sticky beat deep thoughts, changes brains and entertains, maneuvers a boardwalk peace tank splatter paint peace sign amplifiers line the asphalt, drive the beat into the feet of walkers momentarily given to conform to the rhythm. Ibrahim Shaman sermonizing on the mic, bass riff inches along. Drummers catch and sweeten the beat. YouTube hopefuls dance for $1. Asphalt boardwalkers adjust their gaits to the Afro-Venice groove ambulation rhythm.
Hmm.
White marine layer puffs roll slowly. Warm sun, cool breeze. Gulls slide veering between gangly, unmanicured, slow swaying palm trees. Three pelicans fly by too high to be noticed by walking ground watchers. Ibrahim and his band spin it all in the smoldering riff, hotter than the sun, but still part of it. This perfect SoCal day plays Ibrahim and his band in the sound of life.
Very cool. Very cool.
An old Venice boardwalk poem.
Yeah.
This is about an Uber ride. This is called Uber Alles. 'Cause, 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 We share an Uber, me to work, miles to the train. Old guy driver, younger than me, says both his sons live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. My mom came from Sioux Falls, I say. They hate it, he says, but they graduate soon. They're both majoring in criminal justice. Everyone's majoring in criminal justice, Miles mutters from the back seat. I wonder, is it everywhere? Is it our right-leaning local landscape? Oversaturation of propaganda, good cop movies and TV shows? Relentless retelling tales of non-existent imminent threats? Fear for the inevitable rise of stomped down, hungry, ignored, powerless people fighting back? Or as fascism goes mainstream, job security in a growing job market? Authoritarian assimilation? This oxymoronically titled career opportunity, monetizing anger and insecurity, the sickening hole of powerless rage weaponized. Cop, probation officer, correctional officer, security guard, state trooper, crime scene investigator, FBI agent, CIA agent, postal inspector, immigration agent, DEA agent, U.S. Marshal, Secret Service agent, ICE, customs agent, criminal profiler. When the only doors open turn us on each other. The new slave patrol, recruiting workers for the private prison plantations. Later at work, on break, lounging at outdoor table, next to table two late teen girls discuss their futures. The dark-haired white girl says, I think I'm going to major in criminal justice. Her fair-haired friend rolls her eyes, says, everyone's majoring in criminal justice. The first girl pauses, looks toward the horizon. I don't know, she says. It's that or cosmetology.
Your wit is showing.
Is it?
So funny. But not, you know. Uh, strange, strange times.
Oh, yeah. Every day.
Really? Yeah.
This is called The Landscape. I see them standing on turn lane signal islands, by parking lot driveways, in front of malls and stores, the ever-increasing unemployed begging poor, pigeon-toed cold, with pen-drawn cardboard box wall signs, guitars and gruff voices singing, sun-baked and brown, or staring at the ground, or smiling sadly, or holding a waving child, or flashing two-fingered peace sign, or playing upbeat, shiny red accordion Christmas carols with pan drum accompaniment, or hopeful cold mothers in coats, or military veterans shut down in this military town, or non-hipster hairy roadway left-turn median mendicants, or cap-brim covered face, head bowed, small sunken into larger clothes, small aluminum rubber-tipped cane, or groomed sad dad, two downcast kids sit at his feet like the ghosts of Christmas yet to come. Homeless with family, anything helps. Lost a job, 2 kids, need help, rent, food. Out of work, out of food. Homeless veteran, can you help? Last resort, desperate requests. Sign, paint, rain, street. As I recycle glass, rattling in stolen dairy crates for the needed $12.
Hmm. Wow. What a I don't know. So many people so lost, so without any resources, without I don't know. I mean, it's like society just throws people away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you see it all the time.
Hmm. Well,
This is called Who'll Be the First to try to sell the spot where he dropped. His flame-tipped, sun-kissed dreadlocks framed the positive vibration grin. No saint, thank God, just trying to beat the odds. Sell some incense and stay clean. Blessed, he'd respond to how's it going. Rebuilding the life he almost lost, now lived one day at a time. Suddenly, soulless suits and their pandering political puppets declared selling incense and oils a crime.
hmm.
He tried to jump through the city's arbitrary hoops, dance to the changing tune, subject to unjustified, unwarranted, unfair regulation. Doors shutting too fast. The bottle reopened. Mounting pressures blew a small vein in his brain. Dead on the boardwalk. Denied livelihood by the city. Another gentle soul plowed under. More greed machine grease. Even the jaded bitch Venice, once a goddess, now merely a celebrity,
Hmm.
looks away in shame. He'd say,
Oh,
hey Rex, saw your new one in the beachhead. All right. This time, Cecil, it's about you, but you're not here to read it.
uh, wow. What what year would that have been, more or less?
What's that?
Hmm.
What's that?
What year would that have been? Do you think?
Oh, late 90s?
Yeah, probably still about the same.
Oh, yeah. That's the terrible thing about so many of these. They stay relevant.
Hmm. Yeah, indeed.
I'd love to retire
Uh,
them.
I don't think they can ever be retired. Uh,
Speaking of staying the same,
uh,
here's an oldie. It's called The Video Ended. The video ended. The screen turned on. But before I could turn it off, a bulletin interrupted everything.
Hmm.
An open-eyed, small, caterpillar-mustached guy, wackily toupeed, works his jaws and says nothing.
Yeah.
I remote control an increase in on-screen volume arrows, still saying nothing.
Hmm.
He stops, eyes wider, looks off camera, looks down and sees the microphone in his lap. As the picture cuts to a president saying, "Saber rattling? You people in the press are doing the saber rattling. There's no saber rattling. There's no need for saber rattling. Because if there was, he would feel the saber, and that would be that." Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President. They pound like moths beat a bare bulb. Each get their turn. The economic reporter, the political impact reporter. Then a woman not mic'd asked something about going to war over an oil field. His jocular oil executive demeanor melts. His eyes narrow to squint. He tilts his head. His mouth seems dry, maybe one of those moths dead on his tongue. He pities the woman. The Allies have agreed on this matter, he says reluctantly. His moment spoiled. His eyes catch someone. He brightens. "Yes, Bob. But Mr. President, isn't this all just saber rattling?" "Saber rattling," he intones, a leader again. He drones on, walks away, pointing, smiling, waving, laughing. Joins his wife, his dog, who's always sick and brave. They step inside the copter, fly away to fish, leave the jackals of journalism to tear at his dead words, looking for blood.
Hmm. Wow.
So who do you think that was?
Hmm.
Who do you think that was about?
Um. I don't know. Which?
Bush won.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Things
That
just
is
stay the same.
pretty much applied to everyone since. Uh, you can. I mean, it sure seems like nothing ever changes. Yeah. Or at least not for the better.
Right.
uh, I don't know.
This is about a guy who was in a neighborhood that he lived in.
Oh.
This is called the knife thrower.
Hmm.
Yesterday morning, 6:30 a.m., he's already bellowing, "I hate America. I'm going to kill all of you." Already full of vodka, yelling at dogs and their yuppies, early a.m. dog park patrons,
Hmm.
paralyzed in pastel warm-ups
Hmm.
and expensive tennies. He looking the Russian refugee, Cossack coat, wool hat, hairy, filthy, and loud. Lately lurking in shadows, between dumpsters, a shadow himself. Lately taken to wearing a brown fur coat. Sometimes lucid, he recalled circus days, A performing knife thrower, fired from a restaurant for an out-of-context display of his skills. He could be an alcohol-soaked, menacing troll. Robertson, working the evening ATM machine, asked, "Did you hear the news?" After his aggressive overture, the police arrived. He was too drunk to run. He rolled down the park, pants down around his ankles. He was wearing women's underwear. The landlady said, "We tried to feed him. He'd go to the building's bathroom. I worried about disease." This morning, the dewy grass hosts pampered puppies and their owners whose lives are led by a leash. "I miss him," she says.
Whoa. Wow. Strange. Well, Rex, thank you so much for being a week early compared to usual. Of course, this gives you a week in between now and the poetry show. So, I hope I'll see you in 2 weeks for the poetry show.
Maybe.
Well, maybe. I hope it. Please do. I would welcome that, and hey, thanks so much.
Sure. Am I done?
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, I have another minute, and I just want to, tell listeners stuff. So that basically is it.
Cool.
But so thank
Well,
you
thanks,
so
Chuck.
much.
Have a good month, or I guess couple weeks.
Yeah, right.
And stay busy. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. See you. Thanks. All right. And listeners, thank you for being here with me on the New American Dream Radio Show. We are streaming live on Revolution Radio and also on the New American Dream Radio Show YouTube channel. And hopefully we have audio going out and all that, because it looks like it should be. But Rex said he didn't hear something. So we'll see what happens afterwards, and I'll fix it if I have to. In the meantime, let me remind you, Revolution Radio is a listener-supported station, and they deserve your support. And I'll talk to you on the other side of the station break.
You're listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
Are you interested in the paranormal, murder mystery, real natural law? Do you enjoy interviews with amazing guests? Then join Crip Rick every Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Revolution Radio. Studio A, freedomslips.com. Crip Rick's Ivan, thank you. Welcome to the crypt.
Do you want to really get to the roots of good health and stay strong for the storms ahead? Then listen to Bridget's Well, Healing with the Elements of Life. Tuesdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Studio A, where stories are shared about traditional foods, Chinese medicine, and simple, healthy living skills. Listen to Bridget's Well, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Studio A, right here on Revolution Radio.
Welcome to Coffee Rants with Dan. I am the spiritual anarchist, Dan Arnold, your host. Tune in for what's really happening every Thursday. That's Thursday at 9 a.m. in Studio A on Revolution Radio. They keep us in fear to manipulate us. They want us ignorant so we're easier to enslave. They make us murder one another so they don't have to do it themselves. Only you can break their mind control by healing the contradictions within your belief systems that allow you to accept their lies in the first place. The time has come for us to remember our divinity, who we really are, to return to what we are meant to be, a service to others, to return to nature, and to reclaim our birthright, that which is freedom. The truth will sound belligerent because it is in direct opposition to lies. So get angry, because anger is sacred, and together we can unite and rise. Rise from this darkness. Humanity, assemble.
Mountain High Time, 2 hours of an organization to the madness, discussing the ever-changing dynamics of being both physically and mentally prepared for a plethora of possible outcomes to our future and present. A look into the latest technologies, new scientific discoveries, and how they might be used in connection to the human domain and controlling it, ancient cultures and places. Be warned. This is an opinionated look through headlines. Guests that are not afraid to question the narrative. A little bit of crazy ramblings of a stoner conspiracy factist that pushes constitutional concepts. The place and the time are the same, another dimension we call Mountain High Time. Saturdays 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Mountain High Time. Right here on Revolution.radio, where information never sleeps and truth breaks the spell.
The rooster has crowed out the opening bars of a new day. You've dragged yourself out of bed. You turn on your device. You want to know what's going on in the world. But you're hungry for a topical show that serves up those breakfast headlines just that little bit differently. Do you like your early morning news the way you like your eggs over easy? Served with slathers of salsa-like sass? Do you like those first headlines of the day to deliver a punch as powerful as that first cup of joe? Join Mitchell Bupp at his breakfast table for Revolution in the Morning, where he will digest, dissect, and dismantle those new day's national and global news headlines with razor-sharp relish. Find Mitchell here at revolution.radio every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern on Studio B.
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. Any commercial advertising you may hear in this program is of the sole discretion and benefit of the host of whose program you are listening to. Revolution Radio does not endorse any commercial products, nor does it accept monetary compensation for on-air advertising of commercial products, nor will it ever. We are and shall remain 100% listener-supported. Any product advertising on this program are considered used at higher risk, and Revolution Radio shall not be held liable for any claims or damages received from any product advertised within this program. Revolution Radio, where information never sleeps. All right, thanks for listening while we took that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And now we're going to get back to your host.
Welcome back, everyone, to the New American Dream Radio Show, streaming live on Revolution Radio and also on our YouTube channel, the New American Dream Radio Show YouTube channel. And if there are any technical issues, I do apologize, and we'll straighten them out on the recording, but hopefully we're okay live. Alrighty then. Our next guest of the evening is a very interesting guy. It's Larry Pinkney. He'll be joining us from Minneapolis, and Larry's an original Black Panther and a regular guest here, and we're very happy to have him. Okay, I'm calling Larry right now.
Good evening.
Well, hello, Larry. Welcome to the New American Dream Radio Show. You are on the air. How are you?
How are you, bro?
Okay.
Watching the insanity of what's going on in the world. I suppose we all are. I don't know. Maybe some of us aren't. But I'm especially watching I'm especially watching what is occurring with the continued mixed messages that we keep getting from the Trump administration. We get like 3 or 4 different or contradictory messages all in
Indeed.
one day.
Well, hey! I guess that way you can please everybody, or else never please anybody. One of the two.
Exactly. Well, it's and I'm also watching obviously this madness in Lebanon, where the so-called 10-day ceasefire that supposedly has been agreed to, which makes absolutely no sense since Hezbollah, how you're going to have a ceasefire without including Hezbollah.
To go over there to do anything in the first place. But once we did,
of course.
We're trying. Are we trying to create World War III, or what the heck is going on? It doesn't make. I mean, I don't know. I don't buy the. That it's. They were about to have the bomb, and so we stopped them, and blah blah. I think that's a bunch of hooey.
Yeah, we've been hearing that for the past 25 years.
Exactly.
That in the next month or the next 2 or 3 months they'd have the bomb. I mean, we've been hearing that story for the last 25 years. So, yeah, but I just no, I don't buy it either. That's ridiculous. It's I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping that this time around, they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And here we go again. We went for the ghost with the Iraq WMD nonsense. There's no weapons of mass, but we went for it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that the American people will enough. I know that there are certainly many people in this country who aren't going for it, but I hope the masses of people will not go for it. We'll see, and it has nothing to do with ideological line, left, right, whatever. We need to dispense with that crap.
Exactly.
So I'm watching, and I guess that's just kind of where I am this evening. I guess and for the past few days, that's what I've been observing, trying to pay attention to different media. I'm not talking about lamestream media. I'm talking, international media.
Right.
And trying to get as many different perspectives as I can.
Yeah.
So I guess we shall. I think that within the next, I'm thinking, hoping I'm wrong, but I think that quite possibly, perhaps even quite probably, within the next 2 or 3 weeks, the next 2 or 3 weeks, I fear that we may be this country may be in a hot war. Seriously, including the land aspect.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
which I think is utterly insane. But we shall see. Hope
it
I'm
is.
wrong. Hope that does not happen.
I hope you're wrong too, but I'm actually surprised it hasn't happened yet. So.
Yes. So I guess I would say to the audience to hold on, hold tight, pay attention, don't be fooled again. Not that any of the audience was ever fooled, but that's about where I am, brother.
Yeah, but I mean, so much of it is just really out of our hands. The politicians, the powers that be, do this stuff. We don't. We should have power, but we sure don't do much with it.
That's right. That's right. And I'm just, I'm just sick of it. And when I say we, I'm talking about we Americans, the United States.
Mm-hmm.
We go for the ghost, as they say. We go for the lie. We know full well. It's like I was reading, and I came across a number of articles actually. 94% of the Congress, meaning both the House and the Senate, U.S. House and the U.S. Senate, gets money from AIPAC. And it's like, what? 94%. You reminded me of that when you said about the whole thing about power. With power, I'm really. It's like, my God, where's the power? Our Congress members, our House of Representatives and U.S. Senators, they're in large measure are not even loyal to their constituents.
Yeah,
they're just not. They're bought and paid for, and that's.
Yes.
I think we need real systemic change. That, or we can blow ourselves up to smithereens. Maybe that's what they want. I don't know. We shall see.
I don't know either.
But
hard to see what they would get out of that.
on that very cheery note.
Indeed. All right, Larry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks once again for being with me here on the show, and I look forward to
well, thank you, brother.
To you next month. Presumably, we won't have been blown up by that time. So.
Yeah, that's presumably, and I hope you're right. All right, brother, take care, and much love, and hope the audience is taking good care. All right, talk to you next month, brother.
All right, thanks, Larry. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, that was Larry Pinkney, and our next guest of the evening is Frank Cordaro. Frank joins me every week, and we're going to hear from him. He's at the Des Moines Catholic Worker. This one was recorded just a couple hours ago.
Hello, Chuck.
Hi, Frank.
Well, I have to let me describe what's going on. It's part of the show. I'm in the back in the patio. This is the first week that we could be outdoors.
Oh, okay.
And my brother's Tuesday wash dishing event sometimes become Thursday because he's got grandkids stuff he has to do. So, and he's just now getting the plastic off the cigar, and David and him are having a beer to talk to you.
All right.
It would be a distraction. Look at it. Just keep me as long as you want. No.
Brothers.
Yes. All that is true.
I don't have any, but I can relate anyway.
Old friends.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
All right, so I'm walking now. Good. Oh, good golly. You know, the wear and tear just of doing the work, it's not hard work, but it keeps you busy. I have to move, and I keep doing the walking, so it's an existence that has a monastic edge to it.
Mm-hmm.
It just is most of the stuff I do in solitude. Walk, cook, do the books, and of course, we are really shamefully low on people. I don't know what to do about that, but just to persevere, and just keep the plate full.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is critical. It's not rocket scientists. You know, there's just learned patterns of eating, working, exercise, and getting stuff done. So I'm really grateful that I have dummied down my life in such a way that I here. I always talk about what you need to have when you do hospitality. You pretty much learn it by the time you're in 8th grade. You have cousins, they come over, there's rules, they come with your stuff, blah, blah, blah. I said, that's what Jesus said. That's the beauty of this scene. So I look at this as a mandate for discipleship, and there are two models that are predominant. You're either offering hospitality, which of course is a place of privilege. People in the 2nd century who were offering hospitality had stuff to offer, to stay, even meager as it is.
Sure.
That puts them in a very and there was no nuclear family in the 2nd century, so this is all about clans and we don't have. You don't really always add the slaves and the servants, but we have a whole new cast of slaves and servants, and nobody's responsible for them. That's the really harsh thing about our culture. For them is one of the two redeeming exercises and disciplines. Now the second one is to be a pilgrim. What's that mean? Well, it suggests that the leadership do this. They don't bring anything with them. They go from one town to the next, bringing the message of Jesus to the people who would listen to it. But the key there is they don't have anything. And they're always moving. There was always an effort for Paul and his people to send money to Jerusalem, not because it was wealthy, but because it was desperately needed, because it didn't have a good business plan. It fed everybody with whatever they could get, and everybody had to give everything all the time. Who lives like that? Catholic workers.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point. It's supposed to look like something like that. So it's a matter of just living it. That's at where I'm at. I'm kind of finishing the race, and I want to. And I do have just some remarkable things that have to do with my heart. I thought I'd have to speak of such kind of frivolous, incidental stuff, but I'm quite taken up with people I love. And the specific people I love. And I think everybody loves specific people. If you're not, you really are you're really sucking it as a human being.
Yeah.
Even have people around them, and they have love for them. So that's the go-to instinct for following Jesus. And then you do the overlay, like where do you in the world, and where are you in relationship with the poorest of the poor, and measure yourself that way. That's pretty clear directive. You don't have to do it tomorrow, but you're supposed to be addressing it and separating the distance in some real concrete ways. Well, whatever. And I'm just trying to stay healthy enough to keep doing the witness. I got some good news. A woman who's been just a great help for me with my Social Security stuff. Mullen. She also has taken on an effort to try to get me published with my writings.
Oh, excellent.
And working with somebody who publishes stuff in Iowa, and that's really something I would. I've left a lot of stuff I really would like to get.
Yeah, I know you have a lot of writers. Yeah.
That's going on. Go ahead.
Aren't some of your writings in a university archive somewhere?
Oh yeah, Notre Dame.
Okay.
We send all of that. Everybody does that. Yeah.
Okay.
But no one's worked with them. Done anything with them.
Okay.
Yeah. Accessible. I got a WordPress thing that it covers the last 50 years. I mean,
Yeah, I booked that. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well. So. Yeah. So that's going on. Hold on here. I knew this was happening. Alexandra and Nicole have been trying to call me, and they did. They left a message.
Oh.
and then they left me like 16 pictures of the kids.
Oh.
I'm sure they want to report that sort of stuff. We'll get that done. I'll call them back as soon as we're done.
Okay.
I quite taken up with the family.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Holy cow. So, Jess and Julie are doing well, I'm told.
Okay, good.
That's good stuff, those guys.
Uh-huh.
And Araceli, my God, what a saint. Richard's supposed to be coming back in a week or so.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm over there at Dinganos, living with a guy who's just from the mission. Simple guy, but he's doing the work. And then going out and looking for work. So we're really low on people. That's the.
Hopefully that'll turn around soon. Just hang in there, Frank. You're doing great work. Yeah.
The young woman who's been with us now for 6 weeks, leaving next Tuesday, Alexandria.
Yeah.
She's great. Really big.
Yeah. Too bad she's leaving.
Man. Yeah. Well, maybe they'll come back.
Maybe.
I'm very used to this, so it's it's repetitive.
Okay.
Right, gotta go, brother.
All right. Thank you, Frank.
All right, Fred.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Frank Cordaro from the Des Moines Catholic Worker. And always appreciate hearing from Frank. All right, our final guest of the evening is going to be M.K. Davis. M.K. joins us from Mississippi, and we're going to try calling him right about now.
Hello.
Hey, Chuck.
Well, hello, MK. Welcome to the New American Dream Radio Show. You are on the air. And,
all right.
Hey, happy April, or whatever.
Oh, okay. Look here, it's right now in the Bigfoot world, the Bigfoot community.
Mm.
There's a large uproar that's caused by a documentary film that someone has produced with the help of Roger Patterson's son, Clint.
Uh-huh.
And supposedly it shows them practicing for the to make or stage the Patterson Bigfoot film.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they say, but I haven't seen it. They were showing it at some theaters, and then they withdrew that. And
really?
they have not put it out yet, like on Amazon or anything like that. But you know, and you know, in all my years reviewing this film, nobody's been able to touch the film because the film is what it is. It's good enough to stand alone. You see biological things going on with it. It's, you know, not a suit. So this has been tried before. It got tried back in the early 2000s, and it didn't last. You know, when I came along, I had some of the first high quality frames from the film.
Right.
And then I managed to get my hands on a lot of them and put the film in a very stabilized form. And you can see muscles moving up and down the back, you know, the tightening up of the calf muscles and things like that. That can't be what he's showing as a person climbing into a suit and taking off and practicing. Roger Patterson at the time was making a commercial movie to be shown in theaters.
Okay.
And he had a number of people in it that are very familiar. One was Bob Gimlin. Another was Bob Hieronymus. That's the guy who claimed to be the man in the suit. And Bob's brother. And there was a guy named Jerry Merritt. A cast of characters that were all going to be in that movie. And when he got the real thing on film, he dropped the movie. He no longer put any effort into it. So somebody found a reel that somebody had filmed them practicing for that movie, not for the Patterson film. And they just decided they were going to just say, well, you know, this is the Patterson film. And no, nothing could be further from the truth. But there's also a lot of other things in the film that have yet to be explained. And one of them is a large hole full of red liquid material. This is a hole that was excavated by a piece of equipment. It's at the base of a log jam, and you see the Bigfoot walking away. I got that frame from Miss Patterson, and it's exquisite, and it shows this red material. Okay, well, I mean, another frame that I got from her, frame 352, shows a dog footprint, a dog track, and it's red. And this is just maybe 20 yards from the red hole with the red material in it. You know, so you know it's all of that starts to show up in the film, and it goes unexplained. You know, I asked Bob Gimlin about it. I said, "What do you think this is, Bob?" And he says, "Where the hell did you get that frame from?" You know, and that's that's all he would say. He wouldn't answer my question. So there's a lot of unknowns, and I think that's what stimulates people's natural skepticism. Is to see unexplained things on the film, and that's the way it was in the early days after the film came out. They saw that the film was edited. That the Bigfoot in the first part walked over to the tree line, and then next thing you know, he's out in the middle of the sandbar walking upstream. And they say, "Well, why is it edited?" And they were saying, "Well, it's not edited." Well, yes, it is. You know, so this argument and hee-hawing about that is the main stimulus for believing it's a hoax. Then they tried to come back in the early 2000s, and they tried to claim it was a hoax because Roger didn't pay his bills on time. And that was a pretty weak argument against the film itself. Then, I talked to the man who rented Roger. His dad rented Roger Patterson 2 cameras at the same time. And not a lot of people knew that he had 2 cameras.
Yeah.
He had a Bolex and he had a K100. Which one did he use? That's the next question. These frames were so good that I think the analyst Bill Munns were saying, well, Roger Patterson must have taken his original lens off the camera and put in another lens. He was trying to explain its clarity. But he could have just as easily been using a Bolex. He had a Bolex. That was a professional film camera. And they were designed to take 16 millimeter film for use in theaters. So it was very high quality, high quality. So there are explanations, but sometimes you don't get an answer when you want it. But that's not a reason to think it's a hoax.
Right.
So I think the film will do okay anyway. I'll try to help it out all I can by pointing these things out. But the red material, I have lost friends over that.
Really?
They refuse to acknowledge that it's even there with me looking at it. I've got it on about 20 frames.
Right.
And this really good one from Patricia Patterson shows it very well. And I said, look, I don't. You can believe anything you want to believe about the film, but that is red material. I drove all the way to Ohio and got Bruce Maccabee, an optical physicist, to examine the film, and I got him to go on camera and state that was red material in an excavated hole. And then all they have to do is say, no, it's not. You see how weak that is? They don't even give an answer. They say, well, that's not. I said, what is it then? It's nothing. It's the creek. Weird. Sorry, but that's not the creek. I've got pictures taken of the film site from up on top of the one of the hillsides, up above, and it shows that creek, and that creek don't come anywhere near where that hole was dug. So it is. I lost friends because I said, if you are going to say that red is not red, then really we don't need to even to talk to each other about it. Because that's what is film for, but to document.
Yeah, right.
if you don't believe what you filmed, then you might as well just believe anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we created these mediums, so that we could show other people what we've seen and what we've come across. And this was a really good, high quality film of a Sasquatch. He was trying to tell them, no, it wasn't me. And they said, well, you're big like that. He says, I may be big, but it wasn't me.
Huh.
So they wouldn't even excuse his answer. And they were accusing him of doing it. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know.
It's kind of crazy, but people are so jaded nowadays. They don't believe in nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The Patterson film may very well be the last really serious attempt at documenting a Bigfoot, where it's almost indisputable. I know a little bit more of the story, but I could get into it, but it's hard to talk a lot about it in a short period of time. But from what I can be able to tell, and this is with the help of a Native American, they say that she's wearing a particular type of hair arrangement that's distinctive solely for shamans or medicine men or medicine women, and it's called a scalp lock. It's a braid that attaches to the top of the head and falls down the side, and it marks that person as a person that has special skills and abilities, and they call it a barreloach. Barreloach meaning people from the other side of the mountain, and it also means
all right. Well, hey, thanks a lot for being with me here tonight, and I look forward to talking to you in a couple of weeks on the Poetry Show.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And listeners, thank you for being here with me tonight. And I hope you'll be back next week and every week right here on the New American Dream Radio Show. We have something really special coming up next week. It's the New American Dream Theater, where we're going to have a one-act play for the entire second half of the show, and I think that you will be amazed. It's really something, and so be sure to come back and see that. Thank you again for being here with me. Remember to support Revolution Radio. They are a listener-supported station, and they do deserve your support. Thanks for being here, and good night.
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio.
information never sleeps. Never sleeps. Never sleeps. Tune in to Revolution Radio, where truth breaks the spell and information never sleeps.
Transcending time and space, let us take you to the place inside your mind where thoughts divide and mysteries unwind. Join us every Monday evening right here on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And you will catch the Fenton Perspective with our great host, Lorian Fenton. Come listen in as she shares her amazing stories from the past to present, along with all of her guest secrets to the future. That's the Fenton Perspective every Monday evening right here from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, only on Revolution Radio. Oh, and you don't need to expect us.